It is the Kreckman and Lindahl show. It is hour number 2, and it is time to talk to Christian Braun ahead of game 1 on Saturday against those L.A. Clippers. Christian Braun joins us right now on the Ramos Law Hotline. Car accident, you need Ramos Law. Medical doctor and attorney. Visit ramoslaw.com. Christian, welcome back to the show. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're doing quite well. Christian, just a typical quiet week at work, I'm sure, for you guys. How has the last week been, and what was it like to go through the coaching change with 3 games left in the season?
I mean, it's different. It's my first, obviously, coaching change I've had to navigate, or we've had to navigate since I've been in the league. It's not something that you want to go through, but it is something that does happen. I think we've done a good job of, refocusing, making sure that we're locked in on, the right things we need to be locked into. Right now it's obviously a key moment in the year. It was time for us. We needed 3 wins in a row, and we got them. So now we're refocused and we're making sure we're focused on the Clippers. But it was a different change. It's not something you want to go through, but I think we did a really good job up to this point of navigating it.
Yeah, you certainly have, and you guys go 3-0 under David Adelman. When you look back on the last week and those games, the Kings game, the Grizzlies game, and then the Houston game on Sunday. How did you guys play differently? What has been different with David Adelman running the show?
I mean, I think we've been focused. I think we've been locked in. I think defensively, our communication has been really, really good. And a lot of those things are just on the players. Hasn't been much of a change, coaching staff wise. Just the guys have really locked in on what we needed to do. And I think that those last 3 games were really important, regardless who was at the head coach position for us. And we knew we needed 3 wins. We did a really good job of going out there and communicating and coming together, playing together, just playing Nuggets basketball that we're used to playing.
Christian, I'm curious. The last time we got to talk to you was honestly your rookie year and pretty early in it. And since that time, I think every time Jokic is asked about you, maybe not every time, but when asked about you quite often, he always talks about Christian Braun's a winner. He's a winner, he's a winner, he's a winner, and you're all about the winning. How did you convince Jokic of that?
I don't think I had to, convince him of that. I think that I just go out and try to play my game and win, every single night. And I think that's just your approach. Maybe it's something that he sees, in the way that I approach each night. And, I try to take certain things from, his approach and his routine in a way too. But I don't think it's something I had to prove to him. I think he knew coming in, my resume in high school and in college. And then he saw the way I approach games in the NBA. And I just kind of, you want to go out there and play the right way, play hard each night, be available each night. And I think as our relationship has grown, he's just realized that the main thing on my mind is the main thing on his mind too, and that's winning.
Specifically, when it comes to playing with Jokic, and you guys look at your numbers as a tandem, your net rating, the numbers are absolutely fantastic. Going from being a second unit guy fighting for minutes as a rookie to now being a core piece of this team and a 30-plus minute a night starter, you're playing with Jokic almost all the time. How have you gotten better at playing with Nikola Jokic, and how have you been able to maximize your minutes of playing with him?
I think it's really easy, playing alongside him. Obviously, you're drafted for a reason. I think that the way I play really fits alongside the way he plays. I think that my intensity each night and just being available, playing with him, has been a big part of it. As long as you're on the court with him and in the right spots and willing to learn, willing to listen, a lot of times he'll make you look really good. So, like you said, I have played a lot of minutes with him this year. Each moment, I'm just trying to learn from him, take things from him, just be on the same page with him as much as possible. I just appreciate his approach to the game and the way he wants to win night in and night out, the way he wants to show up, for the team night in and night out. It's really impressive, and those are things that, I want to do too. So I'm getting to share the court with him, obviously. Like I said, makes everybody better, makes everybody look better, makes everybody play better. And my job is to go out there and help him out and help the team win. But obviously, I'm very grateful for every minute I get with him and just try to soak it all up.
All right, Christian, let's be honest. Let's be serious for a moment. You're about to take on the Clippers. Your assignment's probably going to be James Harden. And, Feels like anytime you get near that guy, there's a whistle being blown. He's just always getting foul calls. How do you start? How do you prepare for a series when you know your dude gets a kind whistle that you're going to have to play a lot? And how do you avoid from getting frustrated by it, frankly?
I think that when talking about James, I think he's kind of mastered the game on the offensive side. He's really good. Obviously, like you said, getting fouled. That's something he works on. That's part of his game. Even his step backs, he kind of baits you into running under him, and he's just a really good player on that end. So you have to be ready for everything. You got to be ready for his step backs. You got to be ready for when you get to the lane to take his bumps. He's seeking your arms out. And like I said, he's just mastered the offensive side of the game. I think that a big part of that is you got to involve him on defense. You got to make him work. You got to make things tough on him the whole game. It's not going to be perfect. You're not going to hold him scoreless, but as long as you can make each look really tough on him, then that'll really help us out.
All right, so it's curious. Nate brought that up. You guys probably will actually cover each other on both ends, right? Are you going to try to run the old man then? Is that what you're talking about? Make him feel those legs a bit?
Well, I got to make it hard for him. Like I said, I think that just going out there and making sure that I'm making him work on both ends will be really good for us. Obviously, he's so talented on offense. His hands are actually really good on defense. He's good in the post, too. So it's not that he's a bad defender. I think sometimes just guys are so good on offense, making him work on both ends, especially maybe in the altitude, too, will help us out. So he's a really good player. We got to involve him on defense, and we got to be ready for everything that he brings on offense. And a big key, like you said, is not letting him get to the free throw line and get easy ones, not letting him throw easy lobs to Zubac. So there's a lot of things you got to prepare for with him. But I think involving him on offense is a good way to get him involved and make him work.
Talking to Christian Braun here on the Kreckman and Lindahl Show, Saturday, 1:30, Game 1, Nuggets and Clippers. Christian, in the 3 matchups that you guys had with L.A. this year, you did not face Kawhi Leonard out there on the floor, and he has come back, and he has been very good in the second half of this season for the L.A. Clippers. As you guys have gotten into the film and taken a look at it, what does he add to that team, and what do you have to do, and what is Aaron Gordon going to have to do to make things rough on Kawhi Leonard?
I think that's another guy who's, a legend in the game. He's a guy in the playoff who maybe is one of the biggest playoff risers the game has seen. He's a really good player on both ends, especially in the playoffs. So another guy in there. They have a talented roster from top to bottom, but he's really, 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 really good on both ends. But you mentioned Aaron. I think that size-wise, Aaron's a really good matchup for him. He can be physical with him. So we have a ton of confidence in Aaron on that end, covering him, and then also Aaron punishing switches on the other end too. So we're really confident in Aaron on both ends against a guy like Kawhi. But he's a really good player, and like I said, one of the best playoff players this game has ever seen. So they got a ton of guys we got to prepare for, but. I have a ton of confidence in my teammates. I have a ton of confidence in our coaches, and our staff to put us in a really good position. And I know they will, and I know we'll be ready.
Christian Braun getting ready for Game 1. Okay. You are a candidate to be one of the NBA's most improved players. Christian, you know this. It's kind of a funny, subjective award, but you can't help but look at it. You've more than doubled your scoring average from previous seasons. You're top 10 in the NBA in field goal percentage. You're tied for the league lead in fast break points. Like, there's a ton of metrics that are in your favor that have shown a huge jump from year 2 to year 3 in your NBA career. For you specifically, what have you focused on, and what are the greatest areas you think you've improved this year?
I think obviously when you talk about what I've improved on, I think that transition maybe has been one of the biggest jumps. It gets me involved in the game. It's been a really big part of my game this year, and I think it helps the team a ton. But I think Nikola, playing alongside him, the looks I've gotten this year, obviously I got to finish him, but man, he's put me in some really, really good spots. And when I'm open, I got to knock those looks down. So I think that I was efficient, from 2. I was efficient from 3. And just, learning, playing alongside him, where to be, how to get myself open, how to get him open, how to get the other guys open. I think, honestly, being up for that award is a big compliment to the guys I play with. Like I said, they've trusted me. They've put me in positions to be good and to play well. And so I got to thank those guys too. I think, like I said, they're the biggest part in my improvement. And obviously, the coaches trusting me and throwing me out and playing, a ton of minutes this year has obviously been a big part of it too. So I think I've improved in a lot of areas, but I think the credit goes to my coaches and teammates just for the trust that they put in me to make those plays.
What'd you think of the shirts the other night? Were you into it? Do you still have yours? I mean, what did they give you one? How did that all go down?
Yeah, actually, it was a surprise. I walked in. I didn't know it was going to happen. I walked in, and they were on the chairs. And obviously, like I said, I appreciate the guys. They all put them on and wore them, in their warm-up, so they didn't have to do that. So that was a really cool moment for me. It was a really cool moment that the organization would take their time, to do that.
Christian Braun getting ready for game one on the defensive end of the floor. This is, me speaking, observing, watching your game this year. I think you've gotten much better at fighting through screens. I think you have become a better, more capable on-ball defender in the NBA, and I think you came into the league with a pretty good skill set there. But in terms of how to beat and how to get through and get over NBA screens, what are the keys there? How have you gotten better?
I think that a lot of that's just, your will. You want to play. You want to do those things. You want to fight through screens. So a lot of that is want to. I think you do have to have skill set. You do have to kind of understand the game, understand what certain guys are looking for. And that's something that I think this year I was up and down on. I knew it was, an area that I was going to be in a ton of screens, and maybe that was part of it. But I will be ready, when the playoff times come. I will be able to fight through those screens. And like I said, I think it's just a mental thing. It's a 1-2 thing. And that's something that I have every night, So defense a lot of times is just effort in this league. And obviously I have the skill set. I have the tools to do it. But I'm really excited to, show those tools in the playoffs. And I'm going to have a ton of good matchups. Obviously looking forward to how good the players are in the Western Conference. I'm going to have a ton of good matchups just to show my ability on defense. So I'm really excited for that.
How much did you learn from watching KCP?
I mean, he was one of the best at it. Obviously, he would get one seemed like offensive foul on the other team a game, just navigating screens and knowing when to fight over, knowing when to go under, knowing when to fall down. So I learned a ton from him just watching him. And he was just really impressive on that end, the way he flew around, and like I said, the way he was available every single night. Just to go out there and chase those guys around. There's a lot of really skilled guys and really talented guys, but I think Pope kind of set the standard. For me, it was couldn't have asked for a better guy to watch. Fight through those screens and learn from every single night.
All right, Christian Braun, most important question. Who is the best dunker on the Denver Nuggets?
I say this all the time. You got to give it to Aaron. I think we got some guys that can really fly around. P. Watt's one of them. Julian Strawther's one of them. We got some guys that can really fly around on the team, but I think Aaron has put on one of the best dunk shows you'll ever see. You may never see anything like what him and Zach, put on in the dunk contest that year. So obviously his dunks are really impressive. I'm excited to see what he can do in game coming up in the playoffs.
Wait, hold on. Where do you rank in all of that?
I think it's Aaron first, and then we can all figure it out after that. I think I'm more of an in-game dunker personally. I think that maybe this year I've had a couple pretty good ones.
I would say.
Like I said, I'll give the crown to Aaron.
All right, but what's your favorite in your career NBA so far? What's the favorite? The Rudy? Which one?
Oh man, I think that maybe the Rudy this year. Sadly, that came in a loss, but I think the Rudy one. I think that's everybody else's favorite too. So I'm going to go with the Rudy dunk. Was probably my favorite.
Okay, so at the age of 23, can you foresee a day where, like, sometimes when you get to the rim, you'll just kind of put it down rather than rattle the rim, then rock that thing? Maybe take it easy on the hands and the wrist a little bit. Like, at what point will you make that transition in your NBA career?
I hope I don't have to think about that anytime soon. But there's definitely been some nights this year, where I've came in and I haven't been flying around. But sometimes in this league, your legs get a little tired, but hopefully I don't have to think about that too soon.
All right, man. Well, Christian Braun, we appreciate it. Thank you so much for giving us some time here today. Congratulations, man. It truly was a wonderful third season in the NBA. 15 points, 5 rebounds on 58% shooting this season. Game 1 on Saturday against the Clips. Go get 'em, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys.
All right, Christian Braun with us right there.